All right, everyone. All right, everyone. My name is Pascal Borel, and I'm speaking to you from the Swiss mountains. A fabulous sunny day today, and I had a nice little struggle last week. I had 80 centimeters of snow here, and the storm was absolutely magnificent. It is the reason why I am in the Swiss mountains. But everything went well. Uh, I had to shake the yurt just behind me to just avoid the collapse of it under the most heaviest snow, the heavy snow that we have in spring here, which I consider to be between 600 and 800 kilos per cubic meter. Sorry for the metric system, but it's the easiest way for me to describe it. Anyway, everything went well. We are now in springtime. We might still have a few flakes of snow, but I don't think it should cover the place like it did last week. Anyway, I'm here nowadays to well tell you about politics. I'm not going to talk to you about Trump and the U.S. at the moment. I'd like to show you how dysfunctional the system is in my darling country, Switzerland. And I'm going to talk to you about the president of the Green Party here in Switzerland. Although she is not president of the Green Party at a nation level, but she's been mandated to be a senator, which is a very high function here in the in Switzerland. And she is being the advocate of you know global warming, the danger. She's saying that the species is in great danger because of the rise of the CO2 level, when she has never taken the time to really study what is CO2 and at what level do we stand today, because the CO2 level in percentage of the global atmosphere is very low in regard of the last 800 million years. It's between 5 and 10 times lower. And this is why photosynthesis is, I wouldn't call it at risk, but is struggling to perform what it should be doing with ease when there is a bit more CO2 into the atmosphere. And Mrs. Vara, she's just after raising taxes on CO2 to gather even more money on the guilt that you feel for changing the climate, for destroying the future of civilization through global warming, when CO2 has a neglectable impact on the climate warming. And basically, she's missing completely the fight and where it should stand, because fighting against pollution is essential, but it is not for the citizen. We don't pollute with our CO2 emission. We're giving back to the atmosphere the first molecular chain ring of life, i.e., carbon, which is going to uh, allow all veggies and the trees and the grass to blossom and prosper in our environment. And without CO2, there is nothing happening. And even when you eat a salad, a few fruits, a few nuts, or even a beef steak, all the carbon that you are going to use in your metabolic functions is coming from CO2. And it's a shame, because she's absolutely brilliant. She's a great politician. She has an amazing smile. She's very charismatic and people love her. But okay, but then strike for the right fight and achieve something which is in the interest of the global number, of the larger number in Switzerland. Don't be the advocate of something which has virtually no impact but raising money for your good self. And also, she's making people guilty of taking a plane to go on holiday, of using their cars, and she wants more taxes, and she wants. No, man, it makes sure that Switzerland is following every mistake of our neighbors. We're not a direct democracy like we used to be, because all the laws and the constitution has been framed so that you have a right, but then there are four, five, six amendments which are taking away this right from you. The Constitution is not at all something that protects the people from its government. And Mrs. Vara, you know, she's easily taking a plane to go from Switzerland to Oman, which is 6.5 hours flying, or roughly, with her family, because she considers that probably it's too cold end of April in the Swiss mountains to live and to have a good time. No, it's not, my dear. Look at me. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, not just about, and I'm outside, not even wearing a well, just a little jersey like I have, and I'm perfectly fine. I'm barefoot, you know, in Mother Nature. No, but Mrs. Vara, it's we say it in French: do what I say, not what I do. And basically, she's making you feeling guilty because you're taking a plane. She wants more taxes for you. Has she paid the complementary tax that Swiss or whichever company is suggesting to pay to compensate for carbon emissions? I bet not. Maybe she has. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, uh, and this is just to respond to Mr. Alexandre Jardin. And the gentleman is a fabulous guy. He's written many books, and he's the advocate of deleting the ZFE law in France, which is clearly designed not only to make money, but to stop mobility from being accessible to most citizens. Through the fact that either they have to buy back a car, so I'm certain that the lobby of car manufacturers is at work behind the scene. And Europe is basically literally paying France for implementing such a law. We're talking billions of euros, dollar equivalent today. And this is just not on, just erasing one law will not change the game. No politicians are going to use whichever lie, like Mrs. Vara, for instance, and she does not do it voluntarily. She does it despite herself. She hasn't got a clue about CO2 cycle. She doesn't want to give the citizens an environment that they understand and in which they can behave according to what is necessary to the environment. Putting back CO2 into the atmosphere is a good thing for photosynthesis, which is the first step of life. Even when you eat a beef steak, let's face it, the cows have eaten the grass around me, and they derive all the meat, the fat, and everything from the photosynthesis that the grass has performed to grow. And its photosynthesis is only available and possible when there is sufficient CO2 in the atmosphere. May I remind you that at 420 or 440 ppm part per million, i.e. 0.042 to 0.044% of the atmosphere, CO2 is very low in regard of the last 800 million years or 500 million years. It's between 5 and 10 times lower. So basically, uh, everything which is being asked from you, raising taxes on CO2, is just a cash machine. And it's driven and optimized to make you guilty of global warming. And she says that the species that is in great danger, human species is in great danger because we're not acting according to what is going to preserve life on the planet. This is BS all along. Mm, all along. And we need to go into civil in a civil action, not so much to try to strike a referendum because most countries, but Switzerland, don't allow it. Mm, we need to organize the lying flat that I'm describing in my book 2024, which you will find on www.4ovet24.com. Alternative, you have a pop-up there. You can order it in paper format, and it will drive you to Amazon. And voila, you pay 24 francs or $24, and you'll get the book in paper format in order so that what I have written has a hold on your mind, so that you need to read. I prefer reading in paper format myself because I can outline, underline, cross in in the margin section, and so that everything that is being said that is related to my specific situation can get a grip on my brain. So, no, Switzerland is not an example of direct democracy anymore. It follows the mistakes of each and every other neighbor country. And it's terrible. Let me tell you, it's absolutely terrible. And Mrs. Vara, she's saying, yeah, do what I say and what I do. And it's awful. It's awful. And she goes, she makes you feel guilty of every move you take in your car, with a plane, or whatever. And she herself goes for, she does 13 hours of plane time just for enjoying holidays in Oman. When look at Switzerland today. It's amazing. It's it's I was going to say the place to be. I'm currently above Salvan-les-Marécottes. Check it out. It's a beauty. Anyway, so thank you to Alexander Jardin in France for instigating the marches that will uh, potentially delete literally the new law that they're trying to put through to make more money. But okay, it's a fabulous action, but we need more than that. We need to restructure the foundations, and the foundations are, what are they? uh, the Constitution, the legal framework. We don't want to delete all of it. No, we want it stronger than ever, but with real rules that apply to the capacity, the collaboration capacity of human beings, which is the most collaborative species, the most amazing collaborative species of all time. We want proper rules. We want a constitution that is understandable by a 10-year-old. We want a constitution and a legal framework at work for the people, for the citizens, and for the larger number, not protecting the financial interests of the lobbyists from the pharmaceutical industry in case of a pandemic, of uh, you name them. It's the same model in each and every sector. And I'm ashamed to see a young mother, someone who's advocating for the Green Party, which in essence should be the party you trust the most because in charge of making you aware of the environment from which we all depend. But no, the purpose is to increase taxes, is to make you feel even more guilty. It's to make sure that you finish and end up each and every month in the red numbers. So maximum pressure is exerted upon you. This is not on. So this is why we need the constitutional walks that I describe black on white in my book 2024. We need those constitutional pilgrimage marches, name them the way you want, which sole purpose is to rewrite the constitutions, rewrite the legal framework, and we're going to start them within a couple of weeks. We may delay it to mid May, but that's going to be it, we are going to start marching along, walking along, uh, in order to require a new constitution in the service of the people. Please use my writing in the book 2024 as, I don't like to say it, almost, I like to call it a toolbox that will provide you with what you need in order to recover your sovereignty. But it's more than just a toolbox, it's literally a pacific weapon that you can use and from which you will derive a guaranteed success. It is clear. I'm describing the roadmap point by point, from economy, and basically, I'm being the advocate, the promoter of the lying flat used by the Chinese today, by the Chinese no less. And Xi Jinping is even now trying to put laws into place that prevent the let it rot or lying flat, which consists of not working and participating to the economy in whichever way for periods of uh, up to 10 months a year. So you work 2 months a year just to pay your shelter, your internet connection, and a bit of food, and you don't participate for the rest. You say no. And in the book, the way I suggest to do it, because we have social systems which are at work, is to, you know, put the social system in red mode by not contributing for 5 days to the economy on the first month, 6 days the second month, 7 days third month, in order to stop, halt the economy, which is going to cost a tremendous amount to the state until they rewrite the constitution along the pattern that I've described in the book, because the constitution need to be written by citizens, not by technocrats, not by politicians, not by law specialists. No, you need a real representative representativity of the people, and you want the people writing the constitution to be drawn by lot. That is clear. You don't want, well, okay, because otherwise you're going to introduce a bias which again will not defend the larger number, the citizens, the people. So once again, yes, marching around the houses, and that are used by the politics and the governance system overall is a good thing, but you need proper marchers imitating Mahatma Gandhi, which strike the salt marches, which gave India and Pakistan their sovereignty back in no time at all. And we're going to do that. And Xi Jinping, at the moment, there are so many Chinese people going for the let it rot, the lying flat, that there are laws now which forces the young people back into the economy at $300 or $500 a month, to working between 12 and 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. And he's putting laws in place because he understands that the young generation does not want this model. There is a generation that has accepted it in order to go from bicycles to modern cars and modern motorways and what have you in China. But this time is over. They're launching satellites into space. They're launching rovers on the moon. They are a highly technological, uh, country. Let's face it. So, yeah, taking off a law like ZFE in France is a good thing, but it's just a step in the direction of the constitutional walks that we are going to organize. So, just finishing on the politicians, whichever party, they have the same objective. A Mrs. Céline Vara, I would love her to fight the right war for and on behalf of the people. but not on behalf of the lobbyists, which are pushing her into explaining that CO2 is the driver of global warming, which is total BS. And she should study, she should read my chapter, Empire of Lies, of 2024, which is based on scientific facts. You check it out. It's free on the website. So, yeah, Switzerland is not a direct democracy. We've lost our neutrality. We have a health system which is completely south. We have an education system which is completely south as well, not teaching the young students their environment and how to behave decently and according to the reality of our environment. And this is not in the agenda to make good little cash machines at the disposal of large corporations. And I see doctors, I speak with them, and well, they understand that they are governed by the financial interest of the pharmaceutical companies and health mandatory health insurances, but they cannot do. They accept it. You know, they get paid a miserable salary compared to the value of their work. They don't earn the money. I'm talking about physicians, doctors. No, it is for the banks. It is for the people that hold the capital. It is for the pharmaceutical industry. It is for the insurances, which, you know, to take the money which the doctors should have in their pocket for the great service that they rendered to you. Anyway, so no, Switzerland is definitely not an example of direct democracy anymore. I'm sorry to kill your dreams, but that's a fact of life. You know, we are the probably worst cash machine ever invented. I'm so glad to see that Karl Schwab has been dismissed from Davos. A lot of people in Davos itself are totally against. They should, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, they're against it. They understand that being a globalist today does not act in favor of the larger number. It's only about financial interest, and we should be all ashamed of what Switzerland has become after, in inverted comma, being an example of direct democracy and a place in which people live rather well. That sums up the video for today. Thank you for your kind and benevolent attention. May peace be with you and all citizens of the planet. Peace out.